fact that I've got this potential capacity issue means that then I've got a range issue, and that's the big thing with electric bikes, is the range. Everyone's different. Even with gas bikes, what bike's right for you as a learner or at any point in your life is probably going to be completely different to everybody else. So it's kind of, if for you an electric bike seems like the right thing to do, then yeah, why not? And I'm not like losing my mind over electric bikes, as it were. Like, I'm just trying to be neutral, be in the middle, and see them for what they are, and try and look at the positives and the negatives. And you know, doing some videos riding an electric bike and essentially advocating their positives. Yeah, it could be construed that I'm, you know, backing or barracking or cheering for electric bikes or whatever, but I'm just trying to be impartial in the middle. And I've really enjoyed riding that bike, the electric bike, the Sur-Ron Ultra BR, and I hadn't really had anything negative happen to me with that bike. It's just been fun until recently, and I mentioned it in the most recent range test that I was doing, the eco mode range test, just to see what it could get in eco mode, just out of interest. And I was riding slow. I was doing 30 kilometers an hour in some residential streets just to see how it would go. And when I charged it up to do this loop that we're doing right now, to do the full speed range test, as it were, like a real world range test, riding at full speed on the electric bike, adhering to the speed limits, I charged it up and it went to 100% like it normally did, or does when I charge it. Or yeah, normally did, past tense there, right? We'll get to that in a second. So it charged up to 100%, and I did the ride, and I got my numbers, and you know, worked out the range splits and all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, wait for the sun to come out so I can charge it using the solar, you know, charge it for free effectively. And it didn't charge up to 100%, it charged up to 95, and I was like, okay, that's not great. Left it in for a fair while longer. Long story short, after a fair few hours, and I'm talking a fair few, it managed to get up to 98. So when I did that eco mode range test, I started the test at 96%, because it wasn't going to start from 100, and I thought that'd be a good number to start from. Whether it was or not, let me know in the comments. So yeah, finished that test and waited for the sun to come out. The next day, go to charge it up, leave it for its 4 hours, like it normally takes, 3.5, 4 hours to charge it up from 12% approximately, or lower or higher, around about that mark. And I thought, you know what, I will leave it plugged in for a little while longer, because just in case the same thing happens, and I'll chuck those times up, because I use the stopwatch on my phone to make a note of those times. And yeah, then I put the battery back in the bike, because when I'm doing a big charge, I charge it up outside of the bike and next to the roller door, so I can boot the thing out if it starts to have a meltdown or whatever. And it said 85, so the previous time said 95, which was enough of a concern, and now it says 85. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that one, because I was already kind of a bit bummed out that maybe I'd lost 5% capacity for no apparent reason, because I try really hard to look after my stuff and followed all the best practices and stuff, and it still lost 5% capacity for apparently no good reason. Yeah, and then this time it says 85, so I'll see how I go with that. Good thing about it being a Sur-Ron is, because it's bought through a dealer, I can get in contact with them, and yeah, I'm not having to deal with Sur-Ron in China, as it were. So that does give me a bit of hope. They were pretty cool when I bought it. I've chatted to them since, that kind of thing. So I've gone in and tried other bikes, so on and so on. So yeah, I'll see what happens. But now that it's at 85, that is a bit of a concern, because on a gas bike, your tank is not going to shrink, not unless something very odd happens. Yeah, and just for fun, just out of interest, I contacted my local KTM dealer yesterday and asked them, hypothetically, if you were going to have to change the gas tank on my bike, how much would it cost? Because, you know, it wouldn't shrink, but maybe if you're really unlucky, you might damage it beyond repair in some freak incident where only the gas tank was damaged beyond repair or beyond use or whatever, and nothing else on the bike was touched, and you had to change the gas tank. And the quote, which was, you know, very quick, rough quote, I think it was like $780 if I remember correctly. So I'll put that up in, that's dollary dues over here in Australia. I'll put that up as USD because the price goes up when it's USD, and that didn't include labor. But obviously, to change the battery on an electric bike, one of the cool things about the Sur-Ron Ultra B fighter jet over there, that's pretty sick, two of them overlapping. Yeah, the cool thing about the Sur-Ron Ultra B is the battery is swappable, like it's a hot swap kind of vibe. So yeah, you could theoretically buy another battery, but they're like $2,000 for a new battery. So it's like, yeah, if your battery does go to pieces and completely loses its capacity, which is almost unthinkable really, because like that's the whole point, right? Electric bikes, one of the main advantages is they're simple, or more simple, or simpler. You know, it's a battery and a motor, so there's less going on and there's less to operate and that kind of thing, but your gas tank's not going to shrink on you. So yeah, and even if you did have to get it fully swapped out, it sounds like it's still going to be a fair bit cheaper than getting a battery. And it's funny because like with that Sur-Ron that I've got, it seems like the motor, the controller and the battery, that's what it's all about. Like that's where the majority of the price is. And when I was buying the thing, they're talking about how you can do mods, and I've seen people online doing some crazy stuff like getting decent speeds. Like I still think 90 kilometers an hour on an electric bike's respectable on the roads. You don't really need to do that much more than that, and it means it's harder to get speeding tickets. And yeah, you can do a controller and a motor and a battery swap, that kind of thing, and then you can be doing 90 miles per hour as opposed to 90 kilometers per hour. So, and that's fairly, you know, straightforward stuff. It's stuff that you can do without needing a load of tools, a lot of experience, that kind of stuff. You can still get it wrong or whatever, but it's not the same as doing a full engine rebuild or a full engine change on a gas bike by any means. But still, the fact that I've got this potential capacity issue means that then I've got a range issue, and that's the big thing with electric bikes, is the range. Even if you are riding one of those Energica or Zero sports bikes, the big ones, the big electric bikes, not electric dirt bike, electric sports bike, battery on wheels, you know. Okay, maybe the range isn't such a thing with those, and they got tons of power and all this, and top speeds are amazing, but yeah, with something smaller like a electric dirt bike, the range is a big thing. And if you're starting to lose capacity, and like I say, 95 I was already bummed out, but 85, it's truth, that is a lot to lose off the top. So I'll have to look into that and get back to you on that one. Yeah, there's a fair few tasty potholes out.